God. This is why Adele has to get on the podium and thank Beyoncé, when actually she did it because of my manager, my label, my A&R, and all of the I created for her to exist.
So who's secretly threatened by Adele? According to a wave of resurfaced rumors and commentary, some say it's Beyoncé. This conversation isn't new, but it's getting louder again. Media personality Wendy Williams has once again stirred debate by revisiting a claim she made years ago, that Adele, despite her massive success, has long been intimidated by Beyoncé. At the time, many dismissed Wendy as being provocative for attention, accusing her of manufacturing rivalry where none existed. But with new online discussions and viral clips resurfacing, some people are reconsidering whether there was more behind those comments than they initially thought. The moment that keeps coming up is Adele's emotional speech at the 2017 Grammy Awards. When she won Album of the Year for 25, she broke down in tears and dedicated the award to Beyoncé, whose album Lemonade was widely expected by many critics to win. At face value, it looked like pure admiration, an artist recognizing another's groundbreaking work, but now some online narratives are reframing that moment entirely. Instead of gratitude, they interpret it as pressure, suggesting Adele felt the need to publicly acknowledge Beyoncé in a way that went beyond simple respect. This reinterpretation has been fueled by viral compilations circulating across social media. These edits show multiple artists thanking Beyoncé during award speeches.
As a Beyoncé stan, I'm not gonna lie, because I was completely rooting for her. I feel like it was her time to win. Obviously the visual is very new, and you know, and the Grammys are very traditional, but I just thought this year would be the year that they would kind of go with the tide. Even
in situations where she wasn't directly involved. The clips are often paired with ominous music, especially J. Cole's track She Knows. The song itself references legendary figures like Aaliyah, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, and Michael Jackson, all artists whose deaths were widely mourned and in some circles speculated about. Online theorists have taken those lyrics and built narratives suggesting hidden power structures within the music industry. Some even claim that the mysterious she in She Knows is a reference to Beyoncé, though there's no credible evidence supporting that interpretation.
Guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyoncé. Adele is the voice, and Adele does not have to lose, 50 pounds to impress us. And Adele is just a beautiful, gorgeous, regular woman that we can all relate to. Like a real body. Adele has a live-in lover and a brand new baby, and Beyonce's got a husband and the Blue Ivy baby.
Still, the theory has gained traction in certain corners of the internet, where speculation often spreads faster than verified facts. Adding to this, blogger Storm Monroe once made controversial claims about the industry having an anointed hierarchy, suggesting that certain artists are symbolically crowned as dominant figures. In his version of events, he argued that Madonna once held that position before it was passed on to Beyoncé. According to this theory, other artists are expected to show public deference, reinforcing the idea of a structured power dynamic in entertainment. These claims, while dramatic, remain unproven. However, they've contributed to a growing narrative that Adele's Grammy speech wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. Critics of this theory push back, pointing out that Adele has consistently expressed admiration for Beyoncé over the years, long before that awards show. To them, her speech was simply a genuine moment of respect between two artists at the top of their craft. Still, Wendy Williams added fuel to the fire shortly after that Grammy night. On her show, she suggested that Beyoncé might actually feel threatened by Adele's success, particularly because 25 outsold Lemonade. Wendy argued that Adele's relatability gives her a unique advantage, contrasting it with Beyoncé's carefully curated image. At the time, fans strongly rejected this take. Now, some are revisiting it with a different perspective, wondering if there was any truth behind it. The discussion doesn't stop there. People often bring up other artists whose careers face sudden downturns after perceived conflicts or controversies involving Beyoncé. One frequently mentioned example is Carrie Hilson. She released a remix of her song Turning Me On that included lyrics interpreted as a diss toward Beyoncé. The backlash was immediate and intense. Hilson later stated that she didn't write those lyrics and felt pressured into recording them. While her career slowdown can be attributed to multiple factors, some online narratives link it directly to that moment.
No, Beyonce is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is a daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high ranking witch. Madonna is a very high ranking witch. She is a high priestess. That's just pretty much what it is. Of course, the main thing Madonna practices is Kabbalah, but then there's different versions of Kabbalah, just like there's different versions of African spirituality. But then I also believe that in addition to African spirituality, I do believe that Beyonce is into dark magic and black magic as well. Her and Jay-Z.
Another name that comes up is Blue Cantrell. Once seen as a rising star, her career faded after initial success. Rumors circulated tying her to industry conflicts and even to Jay-Z, Beyonce's husband. These claims remain speculative and largely unverified, but they continue to resurface in discussions like this. Similarly, Mia has been mentioned in connection with old rumors about industry relationships and alleged fallout. At one point, gossip blogs speculated about tension involving her and Beyonce, though Mia publicly denied any such claims. Despite her continued work in music and entertainment, some fans believe she was unfairly sidelined, again tying it back to larger conspiracy narratives. When people look at all these stories together, Adele's Grammy speech, Wendy Williams' commentary, Carrie Hilson's controversy, and the rumors involving other artists, they start to see what they interpret as a pattern. But it's important to recognize that much of this is built on speculation, selective storytelling, and internet amplification rather than confirmed facts. Adele herself has never indicated fear or pressure in her interactions with Beyonce. In fact, she has repeatedly praised her as one of the greatest artists of all time. Beyonce, on the other hand, has also shown respect toward Adele, even standing and applauding her during that Grammy moment. From a documented standpoint, their relationship appears rooted in mutual admiration, not rivalry. What this situation really highlights is how quickly narratives can shift in the digital age. A moment that once symbolized humility and respect can be reinterpreted years later as something entirely different. Social media thrives on connecting dots, sometimes thoughtfully, sometimes recklessly. Wendy Williams, known for her bold and often controversial takes, has built a career on saying what others won't. Whether she was ahead of the curve or simply stirring conversation is up for debate. Some viewers now claim she was telling the truth early, while others maintain she was doing what she always does, entertaining her audience with provocative opinions. In the end, the question remains open. Are these stories revealing hidden dynamics within the music industry, or are they examples of how speculation can spiral into full-blown conspiracy? What's undeniable is that both Adele and Beyonce have achieved extraordinary success in their own lanes. Adele's powerhouse vocals and emotional storytelling have made her one of the best-selling artists of her generation. Beyonce's innovation, performance artistry, and cultural impact have solidified her as a global icon. Rather than competitors locked in a secret battle, the more grounded perspective is that they represent two different kinds of excellence.